I'm going to show you how to install and uninstall this Waltec bathtub faucet with two handles. It's a rare one now. Waltec is an old company. Um, I think that this house was built in 1978, and this is probably the original one from when the house was first built. It's hard to find parts for Waltec now. Home Depot doesn't have the cartridge or the faucet seat anymore. Even though this is a huge Home Depot in Waterloo, Ontario, they have a lot of things, but not Waltec cartridges and faucet seats. They do have MCO, which is similar. The MCO faucet seats look almost the same, but they're not the same, and you don't want to take a risk using something slightly different. You're going to get a leak. Just one slight imperfection and you get a leak. Canadian Tire had faucet seats and cartridges for Waltec, but they weren't made by Waltec. They were made by some other company saying like, this isn't guaranteed. This isn't made by Waltec, but we're trying our best to replicate what Waltec made. This this is called the Ruffin, ROUGH-IN. And when you search Waltec Ruffin, you actually find on Google Images, I found several different Waltec Ruffins that were different from this before finding this one exactly. Eventually, I did actually find it, and there was a place in Concord, Ontario, which was selling it. It was called H&S. So Waltec face mount trim kit for two handle tub and shower faucet. H&S item number PF08A, manufacturer's number or alternative number 14F525. So it's 15.2 centimeters, two handle faucet for surface mounting with 15.2 centimeters or 6 inches center, half-inch connections, one-piece valve body mechanism attached to a wall mount template. Hot and cold stem units are rotating compression type equipped with replaceable chrome-plated seats. All operating parts are replaceable from the front. Valve body assembly is replaceable from the front. And then there's some information about the shower head. And the Ruffin, which is PF09A, is sold separately. OEM number 14F525. It's not easy to find the parts for this anymore. So you might want to consider just replacing just renovating your whole shower. But you might also just want to fix something temporarily, or you might just want a quick fix or an inexpensive fix. And so what I've done so far, I had a leak here, so I've just I don't want the main valve to the house to always be off. So I've now just placed a couple of shut-off valves here. Ideally, these would be on the other side. I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. These shut-off valves, if you're going to shut off the hot and the cold water pipes, then you're also going to have to put this brass cap on the shower head, because by shutting off the bathtub faucet, the water is just going to go up to the shower head. Ideally, these shut-off valves would be on the other side, so that you never have to turn off your main valve. Whenever you have a leak here, you can just turn off the shower or bathtub faucet by shutting off the main valves on the other side. Now, the other side happens to be a bedroom, and so basically you would cut the drywall. It's not that hard of a job. With the drywall knife, it shouldn't be too hard. I've even done it with like an X-Acto knife and other things. And then you would get this access panel. This is one example of what I just got this at Home Depot for. It's 8 inches by 8 inches. They had two sizes. They had 14 inches by 14 inches and 8 inches by 8 inches. 8 inches by 8 inches is just good enough for this purpose. But you might want to get the 14-inch one, because if you're replacing this this bathtub faucet with a more modern one, the more modern ones are usually, I think, one handle instead of two handles, the hot and the cold. There's a mixer handle instead of two separate handles, one for hot, one for cold. And when you have two separate handles, one for hot and one for cold. There's two faucet seats, two cartridges, two handles. There's just more things that could go wrong and more parts that you might have to replace. So maybe that's why there's been a shift towards the single handle ones. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm just warning you that you might want the 14-inch by 14-inch or a bigger one, because you might want more space on the other side. Because if you're replacing this bathtub faucet with a different one, you might have to cut the pipes on the other side and change the piping a little bit to install your new modern bathtub faucet. So choose your bathtub faucet before you choose what size access panel to purchase and what size hole to make on the other side. Now I haven't made a hole on the other side or anything. I've just um, installed these shut-off valves here, and these just twist right into. There's 3 nuts here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this is the hot, this is the cold, and this is the diverter. That's where the water actually comes out. Well, actually, the water comes out of here, and then it goes into that rough end that I was talking about before. And from the rough end, it gets diverted into this middle, and then it comes out of the center. So installing, first of all, these shut-off valves. The shut-off valves, these are the compression type fittings. You can use shark bite, but I didn't think there was enough space for the, like, if you see what we have here, I guess you'd have to take off this nut, which I wasn't easily able to do. But if you take off that nut, you may be able to have more space, but I didn't find that there was enough space to put a shark bite on. Usually you might want at least an inch. So I just used these compression type fittings, which I found easy. I didn't need any tools. I just twisted it in. Yeah, I just twisted them in. The compression type valves, they came with a ring called a ferrule and a nut, but here we already had the nuts there already, so I didn't need to use the nuts that came with the stem. It came with the valve, shut-off valves. Originally, I was a bit confused. I thought that I had to put the nut and ferrule on, and it wouldn't fit, but it just turns out that these twist right into the nuts that were already there. So now, let's talk a little bit about how to install everything. So the first step would be, and I'm explaining this because everything's out, and so it's easy to explain how to install it, but what you might want is how to uninstall it, which will be the other way around, and I can explain that afterwards. So here, this is the rough end. So this is the part that faces the person taking the shower. And this is the part that goes into those 3 nuts that I showed you a few seconds ago. And you just twist those nuts. You can use a wrench as well. So this adjustable wrench was good enough. I didn't need any specialized tools. So get that rough end into those 3 nuts, tighten them, and then the next step would be to get the faucet seats in. And so first of all, when you look at this, you'll see there's some threads. There's some threading in here, and then deeper inside there's some more threading. And I don't think you're going to be able to see the ones deeper inside. But so this threading out that you first see there, that's for the faucet cartridge. So you see these threads here. Those are going to go into the first set of threads. And then deeper inside, you have more threads, which these faucet seats are going to, these faucet seats, the threads of the faucet seat are going to go with the second set of threads. So, okay, let me show you how to do it. You need an Allen key, a rather big one. I think it's size 8. I didn't happen to have an Allen key that was big enough. The only thing I had was this one, which is an adjustable. It's got 3 different sizes of Allen key here. maybe I'll move this like that. So there's 3 different sizes here, and it can be a bit. And this is just what I happen to have, and it turned out that it's probably perfect. It's probably actually designed for this. This happened to be the only Allen key that I had that was big enough, and it happened to be when I watch other YouTube videos about installing faucet seats, it turns out that this is probably actually designed just for this, or it's the one that you're supposed to use for this. So you put it. It can be a bit awkward when you first use this type of Allen key because you really don't want to drop the faucet seat because one little indentation or dent or imperfection can cause a leak. When you're on the right size, there's still some extra. The Allen key sticks out a bit, which can seem a little bit awkward at first, but look at the other end here. I'm going to put it in, and you can see it. So I'm just going to put it in there and turn, and it actually turns out to work just fine. So you might find it awkward at first. Okay, so that's tight now. You might find it awkward at first because there's this, it sticks out further than the actual faucet seat. But there's a hole on the other side, which means that it's okay. You can also, first of all, I'm going to say that your faucet seats, at least your cartridge, I don't know about faucet seats, but no, the faucet seats, the hot and the cold are the same. You just buy, the 2 faucet seats come in one bag, and they're not labeled. But the cartridges, the hot and the cold, come separately. The other thing I'm going to say is that on the threads on this faucet seat, I have seen some YouTube videos where they put Teflon tape around there. That's probably a good idea to prevent leaks. I've also been recommended this pipe joint compound. You put a little bit of that on. You can put that in addition to the Teflon tape, or you can just put it on by itself on the threads. But basically, that will probably help with preventing leaks. So, okay. So we have the faucet seat, the threads. So the threads go in first. So let's do it again. Let's put the Allen key. Let's put the Allen key in, and then let's put the faucet seat in. So we tighten that, and then the next thing that goes in is the cartridge, and that just twists in like this, and you can use this wrench to tighten it further. I wouldn't do it too tightly, okay? This isn't a car where you have to torque things to really high torque levels. You don't want to strip anything here for sure. So, I mean, you could put a socket on there and use a ratchet, but I think that might put you at risk of tightening it too much. So the wrench is just good enough for the plumbing here. The next thing that goes on is the handle, and then there is the, 1 second. No, you don't want to put the handle yet, because you'll want to put this on, okay? No, you'll be putting this on first. So, I have made a mistake here actually. Before you put that faucet seat and cartridge on, you're gonna have to put. So I'm gonna take out the The faucet seat can stay in there. We can keep the faucet seat in there, but we're gonna want to put this on next, okay? And then we're gonna put these rings on, okay? We're gonna put these rings on, and that is because that is to keep the this thing from coming out. This thing is not attached using any screws or something. Sometimes there's like a screw under or something. You're gonna look for it forever, and you're not gonna find any screws or anything. The only thing keeping this thing attached to the wall is this thing here. So I'm gonna twist that on. So which way does it go? It goes like this, okay, like this, and then, oops. I think it goes like that. Maybe it goes the other way. I think it goes the other way. No, it's got to go this way. Okay, I got it. So this is now in there, and then this one, same thing. Oh, come on. All right. So, okay. So, yeah, you got to have both of them. This won't be a problem when you're doing it against the wall. When you're doing it in air like this, there's a possibility that one side is not, one side is in more than the other, which makes it hard to put this on. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay. This is hard. I think this is easier to do when it's actually against the wall. I don't know why this is not twisting in. So this side, so that's twisted in fine. Why is it not working on this side? Oh man. Okay. Sorry for taking so long here, but I actually feel like in the YouTube videos that show how to do things, the whole process should be shown, because sometimes they just skip over the hard parts, and you don't actually, like, it takes 5 seconds in the YouTube video, but for you it takes 10 minutes, and you're wondering why. And so it's actually good to see how long it takes for other people too. Okay, so let's get this in there. That's tight. But when that's tight, then the other side is not. So that's, I don't know if I can do this in thin air like this. I might have to actually do this on the actual wall. Or does it go the other way? Maybe it does go the other way. Maybe it goes this way. Okay. Okay, that's in now. And that's in now. So I was doing it the wrong way at the beginning. That I think that it's in properly now. So the next thing we do is we put the cartridge in, and make sure that the hot and the cold are, like, these cartridges, when you buy them, there's a hot, they come separately for hot and cold. They're slightly different, okay? So this is the cold one. I'm going to put the cold one in. So now there's more parts. This thing, there's parts of this that can come out, like the rubber washers and stuff. But when I bought this cartridge, it just came out like that. So I'm going to put that one in. You can tighten it with the wrench, as I said before. I'm just going to do one side for now. Next thing we do is the handle, and then we have a screw, which we're just going to use a Phillips head screwdriver to put that one in. Okay. Done. And then we're going to put this cap on. So now, and then another thing is, so this is the thing that you pull to get to switch from getting water coming out for a bath versus a shower. So you can put this thing on. I guess you have to pull this first. You put this thing on to make it easier, to give you a handle so that you can pull that easier, and then you have a screw that goes in there. Okay. So now uninstalling this. So the first step is to use a flathead screwdriver. There's a little indentation here, and I'm just going to dig under that indentation a little bit and take this cap off. That's probably one of the hardest parts. This screwdriver, again, this is just a Phillips head. Sorry, I have to switch to Phillips head. It's just a Phillips head screwdriver, and this can be a little bit hard because that screw could have a lot of rust on it. And when you're first starting, you might be worried that, like, when was the last time this was opened, might be stripped. You know, I mean, it was probably years ago that someone might have even been decades ago that someone last worked on this. So you might get a bit of anxiety about getting this screw out, but it shouldn't be too hard. I've never had, even though I've had screws with a lot of rust, and it wasn't, it was never a problem for me overall. The next, again, the beginning of this is probably the hardest when I'm installing things. The next thing is, how do you get this cap off? And that, it just comes off like this. So at first you might be like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? But you just pull it off, okay? And it's probably going to be, it's going to be a lot harder than it looks in this video, okay? Because it's been there for so long, it's kind of seized. You'll have to just pull really, really, really tight. There's no tools. It's not, I mean, if it's your first time doing this, you might be confused. Like, usually you need a tool for something like this. Usually there's a way to take it off, but in this case, it's just pull off. And then the next thing you do is you get your adjustable wrench, and then you would, so I think there's something I did wrong here. This cap thing, it's sticking out too much. So this nut should be sticking a lot further out like this. So I've probably put that this cap the wrong way. But that's just there to prevent this whole thing from from detaching from the wall. So it's not got much function other than that. Anyway, so you'd be using your wrench to loosen this, and then you take out your cartridge, and then you get your Allen key, you stick it in there, and you get the faucet seat out. Okay? And then the next thing, you'd have to remove these two things before taking out this. And taking this out, again, there's no screws or anything. You just pull this out. Okay? Once these two things are out, then you can just pull this out. Okay? Good luck with everything. I hope it goes well for you. Thanks.